शिल प्रभुपाद। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुषुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स पदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्नाय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरतिष्ये नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकांत राधाकांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विश्वभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। We'll be reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 19. Chapter is entitled The Lord Instructs Srila Rupa Goswami. Text number 149. Krishna Bhakta Niskam Ateva Santa भुक्ति मुक्ति सिद्धि कामी सकली अशांत। कृष्ण भक्त निष्काम अतएव शांत भुक्ति मुक्ति सिद्धि कामी सकली अशांत। कृष्ण भक्त निष्काम अतएव शांत भुक्ति मुक्ति सिद्धि कामी सकली अशांत। Mataji. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Because the devotee of Lord Krishna is desireless, he is peaceful. Fruitive workers desire material enjoyment, Jnanis desire liberation, and Yogis desire material opulence. Therefore, they are all lusty and cannot be peaceful. Purport. The devotee of Lord Krishna has no desire other than serving Krishna. Even so-called liberated people are full of desires. Fruitive actors desire better living accommodations, and Jnanis want to be one with the Supreme. Yogis desire material opulence, yogic perfections and magic. All of these non-devotees are lusty, kami. Because they desire something, they cannot have peace. The peace formula is given by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. Bhaktarang jagatapachang sarvaloko maheswaram suidang sarvabhutanang gyattamang santi mritchate. One who simply understands that throughout the entire universe, Krishna is the supreme enjoyer and beneficiary of all kinds of sacrifices, penances and austerities, which should be performed only to attain his devotional service, that Krishna is the supreme being and thus the proprietor of all the material worlds, and that Krishna is the only friend who can actually do good to all living entities, to do good to all living entities. Sruidang Sarvabhutanam. One who understands these three principles about Krishna immediately becomes desireless, niskama, and therefore peaceful. A Krishna Bhakta knows that his friend and protector in all respect is Krishna, who is able to do anything for his devotees. Krishna says, Kunte pratijani name bhakta pranasati. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. Since Krishna gives this assurance, the devotee lives in Krishna and has no desire for personal benefit. The background for the devotee is the all good himself. Why should the devotee aspire for something good for himself? His only business is to please the Supreme by rendering as much service as possible. A Krishna Bhakta has no desire for his own personal benefit. He is completely protected by the Supreme. Avashya Rakhive Krishna Vishwasa Palan. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that he is desireless because Krishna will give him protection in all circumstances. It is not that he expects any assistance from Krishna. He simply depends on Krishna just as a child depends on his parents. The child does not know how to expect service from his parents, but he is always protected nevertheless. This is called niskama, desirelessness. Although the karmis, jnanis and yogis fulfill their desires by performing various activities, they are never satisfied. A karmi may work very hard to acquire $1 million, but as soon as he gets $1 million, he desires another million. For the karmis, there is no end of desire. The more the karmi gets, the more he desires. The jnanis cannot be desireless because their intelligence is unsound. They want to march into the Brahman effulgence, but even though they may be raised to the platform, they cannot be satisfied there. There are many jnanis or sannyasis who, after taking sannyas and giving up the world as false, returns to the world to engage in politics or philanthropy or to open schools and hospitals. This means that they could not attain the real Brahman. Brahma Satyam. They have to come down to the material platform to engage in philanthropic activity. Thus they again cultivate desires, and when these desires are exhausted, they desire something different. Therefore the jnani cannot be niskama, desireless. Nor can the yogis be desireless, for they desire yogic perfections in order to exhibit some magical feats and gain popularity. People gather around the yogis, and the yogis desire more and more adulation. Because they misuse their mystic power, they fall down again to the material platform. It is not possible for them to become niskama, desireless. The conclusion is that only the devotees who are simply satisfied in serving the Lord can actually become desireless. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says here, Krishna Bhakta Niskam. Since the Krishna Bhakta, the devotee of Krishna, is satisfied with Krishna, there is no possibility of fall down. So today and tomorrow we'll be trying to discuss what Mahaprabhu taught to Rupa Goswami. It's a big topic. We need many days, but we'll try to have some essence of all these teachings. So if you go through the teachings by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Rupa Goswami, it begins with a theme. The first theme is that rarity, the rare position of a devotee. Then Mahaprabhu explains the rarity of devotional service. Then Mahaprabhu explains the symptoms of pure devotional service. Then Mahaprabhu explains the result of pure devotional service. And at the end, Mahaprabhu explains different kinds of rasas in devotional service, the perfection. And ultimately he establishes that Madhurya Rasa is the topmost, because that is Mahaprabhu's desire to establish in this world. Brahma Kachit Upasana Brajavadhu Vargena Jakalpita. The ways the gopis worship Krishna is the topmost worship, and that is the teaching Mahaprabhu wanted to give to the whole world. So he has established this principle stage by stage. But he is starting with a very basic philosophical topic. He is talking about Atma, living entities. So Sambandha Gyan is very, very important. Krishna also starts his Bhagavad Gita with this. Sambandha Gyan. Who am I? And Sanatana Goswami also asked the same question to Mahaprabhu. Who am I? Because if we don't know the Sambandha, then other things cannot follow. So here also Mahaprabhu is starting with that philosophical aspect. And Mahaprabhu very systematically explaining. He is starting এই তো ব্রহ্মাণ্ড ভূমি অনন্ত জীবগণ 84 লক্ষ জনিতে করে ভ্রমণ. So in this universe there are limitless living entities in 8,400,000 species of life, and all are wandering within this universe. So Brahmanda, how many Brahmandas are there? Unlimited. So whatever related to Krishna is unlimited. That's why we cannot understand Krishna. সেই সেই ঈশ্বর তত্ত্ব বুঝিবারে পারে, ঈশ্বরের কৃপালেশ হয়েছে যাহারে. Who can understand Krishna? Who has received the mercy of Krishna. Krishna is unlimited. And the living entity, what is the size, that will be also explained by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is very insignificant size. From a mathematical point of view, is very insignificant. if you divide the tip of the hair 100 times, then you take one of that part and divide it again by 100 times. That is the size of the spirit soul. So 100 multiplied by 100 means 10,000. So size of the soul is 1/10,000 part of the tip of the hair. And Prabhupada says in the purport, it is not possible to divide the tip of the hair in 10,000 parts, mathematically. But spirit soul is not material. Spirit soul is spiritual. But idea is given how insignificant is the size of the soul. So Krishna is unlimited. We have to understand that. Who understands that Krishna cannot be understood by our understanding, he can understand Krishna one day by the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Brahma did tapasya for many, many years. After performing tapasya for many, many years, he told that I have realized. What he has realized? He has realized that he can never realize Krishna. That is the realization Brahma had. And because of this, things were revealed to Brahma. So Krishna has unlimited glories. How many glories? Unlimited means countless. You cannot count. Ananta Shesh. Ananta Shesh. Again contradictory. Ananta means who has no ending, and Shesh means Anta. That is also one of the aspects of Krishna is inconceivable. He is Ananta, but he is Shesh. Just like Krishna is Aja. He does not take birth. But Ajopi san Abhayatma, Bhutanam Ishwaropi san, Prakritim samudishtaya sambhavami atmamaya. He is Aja, but he takes birth. Not only once, Jada jada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata, abhutthanam dharmasya tadatmanam sijam maham, paritranaya sadhunang vinashaya cha duskritam, dharma samstapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. In every yuga he comes. Not only once he takes birth, his birth also happens how many times? Unlimited. So you can count maybe. You may count the number of atoms in this world, but you cannot count the glories of the Supreme Personality of God. Unlimited. So Ananta Shesh, he has been glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead with his countless number of mouths. Still he is not able to complete it. So who are we to understand the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? So Krishna's glories are unlimited. So what is the size of the spiritual world? You cannot measure. Unlimited. And what is the significance of unlimited? It always expands. Everything in this world reduces. Right? And everything in the spiritual world increases. That is the spiritual world, ever expanding. So what is the beauty of Krishna? How beautiful he is? Huh? All beautiful. What is the meaning of that? You cannot compare. Is unlimited. How beautiful Krishna is, Krishna also doesn't know. Right? That's why Krishna came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So one day Krishna was attracted to a beautiful boy and was running towards that beautiful boy and realized that that is his own reflection. He started realizing, oh my God, I am so beautiful. So what is the use by being God? Because I don't understand my beauty. But I declared, Bhaktarang Jagadabasang Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Shuidang Sarvabhutanam Gyattamang Santamichati. So I declared in Bhagavad Gita that I am the supreme enjoyer, I enjoy everything, but I am feeling that I am not the enjoyer, really. My devotees are enjoying more than me, so what is the use to be a God? Better to be a devotee of God. So that is the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, the original Supreme Personality of Godhead wants to become a devotee. But the unfortunate living entities in this material world, they want to become God. That's why material world is a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. That is the beauty. So how many caps Krishna had when he started his Govassa Charan Leela? How many caps? Because Krishna did not start Gocharan immediately. When he crossed Balya to Poganda, at the age of Poganda, he was given the responsibility of the cows. But when he was in childhood, he was given Vatsya. From Vatsya, it comes Vatsalya. Vatsya means calf. How many calves Krishna had to graze them? Unlimited. You should recite this because that is a topic. So, unlimited. And our acharyas are explaining, unlimited means 1 followed by 17 zeros. Don't do the mathematics now, you can do it later on. But to give an idea, how many? But when I ask question, how many cows Krishna had? 900,000. But that is Nanda Maharaj. Nanda Maharaj had 900,000 cows and Vrishabhanu Maharaj had double than that. And how many cowherd men are there in Braj? Unlimited. So you got the point now. So you got the point. So how many gopis Krishna danced with in Rasa dance? Unlimited. But acharyas are giving 3 billion gopis. Vishwanath Chakraborty Thakur explains, I think, 3 billion gopis. Don't become depressed by hearing that. So that is the nature of Krishna. So Krishna created this material world. This material world also has how many number of universes? Unlimited. And how many living entities are there in this material world? Unlimited. So that is the message of the verse. That in this Brahmanda, Brahmanda Bhavad means only not this Brahmanda. The whole material cosmos consists of unlimited number of Brahmandas. Brahma also forgets that sometimes. So Brahma came to see Krishna in Dwarka and he was stopped by the doorkeeper. And Brahma said, I am Brahma. VIP pass is there, I am Brahma. Why is security stopping me? He said, okay, I have to check with my master. Then Krishna asked that, who is Brahma? Then he came, who is Brahma? He said, who is Brahma? Only one, I am the only Brahma. No, Krishna asked, who is Brahma? Then Krishna told, okay, that four-headed Brahma has come. He said, okay, please allow him. So he entered and he saw the assembly of Brahmas. And he was feeling that how insignificant I am because he only had 4 heads. There were Brahma having 8 heads, 16 heads, 100 heads, 1000 heads, millions of heads. Don't ask how the heads are managed, because that is also inconceivable for us to understand, because for us to manage one head is difficult. So by that we should understand the insignificant position, because humility comes from knowledge, and humility comes from the knowledge of the great people. Brahma could not realize that how insignificant he is unless and until he could see the higher dimension of Brahmas. So therefore we have to understand there are different dimensions of our existence, and that will keep us humble. And Mahaprabhu is trying to teach in that way. So there are countless number of living entities, and there are 8,400,000 species of life. It's varieties, not the number. 8,400,000 species of life. And Mahaprabhu is telling the variety, how it is divided. And then Mahaprabhu says that the size of the soul is 1/10,000 part of the tip of the hair. তার মধ্যে স্থাবর জঙ্গম দুই ভেদ, জঙ্গমে তীর্যক জল স্থলচর বিভেদ. So he is dividing, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is dividing the living entities in two categories: moving, non-moving, sthavara, jangama. And jangam is dividing into three categories. One is bird, means those who are in the sky, tirjaka. Then jala means aquatics, those who stay in the water. And sthalachara, who live on the ground, animals. তার মধ্যে মনুষ্য জাতি অতি অল্পতর, তার মধ্যে মেচ্ছ পুলিন্দ বৌদ্ধ সবর. And Mahaprabhu is telling, out of these living entities, human species is very, very rare. Number is less, 400,000 varieties. But out of those, most of them, they don't follow Vedas. They don't follow Vedic rules and regulations. And those who do not follow the Vedic rules and regulations, they are identified as not civilized human beings. Uncivilized. So there are civilized, uncivilized. Those who follow the Vedic rules and regulations, they are civilized, and those who do not follow, uncivilized. So those who follow those civilized human beings, 50% they just follow for the namesake. What this Mahaprabhu is telling, they give lip service. You know the meaning of lip service, right? They only talk. We should do this, you should do that. Only talk, but they don't do things. It's known as lip service. So they say that they talk about Vedas, but they don't follow Vedas. So it is explained here. বেদনিষ্ঠ মধ্যে অর্ধেক বেদমুখে মানে, বেদনিষ্ঠ পাপ, বেদ নিষিদ্ধ পাপ করে ধর্ম নাহি গণে. Among human beings, those who are followers of Vedic principles are considered civilized. Among these, almost half simply give lip service, while committing all kinds of sinful activities against this principle. Such people do not care for the regulative principles. ধর্মাচারী মধ্যে বহুত কর্মনিষ্ঠ, কোটি কর্মনিষ্ঠ মধ্যে এক জ্ঞানী শ্রেষ্ঠ. So Mahaprabhu is trying to establish the rarity of a devotee. How rare a devotee is. Among the followers of Vedic knowledge, most are following the process of fruitive activity, distinguishing between good and bad work. And out of many such sincere fruitive actors, there may be one who is actually wise. Jnani means, Prabhupada is writing, wise. What is the purpose of jnana? What is the purpose of karma? You should know. Sense enjoyment. And what is the purpose of jnana? Moksha. কোটি জ্ঞানী মধ্যে হয় একজন মুক্ত, কোটি মুক্ত মধ্যে দুর্লভ এক কৃষ্ণ ভক্ত. So out of millions of jnanis, one really become liberated. কোটি মুক্ত মধ্যে দুর্লভ এক কৃষ্ণ ভক্ত. And out of millions of liberated person, there is one Krishna Bhakta. Clear? How rare it is? Then, what is the symptom of a devotee? That should be very clearly understood. There are 4 categories. Bhukti, Mukti, Siddhikami and Bhakta. Those who follow the path of fruitive activities, they are known as karmi. Those who follow the path of jnana, they are known as jnani. And those who follow the path of yoga, they are known as yogis. And their goals are sense enjoyment, liberation and mystic siddhis. The verse we recited today and also read the purport, Krishna Bhakta Nishkam Atev Santa Bhukti Mukti Siddhikami Sakali Asanta. This is a very deep verse. The secret to be peaceful. How one can be peaceful? Why devotees are peaceful? Krishna Bhakta Nishkam. If a devotee is having desires, then what will be the position of that devotee? Asant. He will become unpeaceful. So someone is not peaceful even after being in devotional service. So what is the message we get? That devotee has desires. As long as desires will be there in our heart, wherever you will be asant. You cannot be peaceful. So peace is the experience within. Hiranyakashipu was the king of the whole universe. Even the demigods were his servants. Even Narad also used to glorify him. Hiranyakashipu Bhagavan ki jai. He was a god. But he was peaceful. Why? Everybody accepted him. Even the great demigods accepted Hiranyakashipu. But his own son, 5 years old Prahlad, did not accept his authority. And that's why he was asant. You have to understand, wherever you will be, there will be someone who will not accept you. That is the nature of this world. And who has this knowledge, then he will not desire any position in this world. That is the secret. That philosophical understanding has to be properly understood. Otherwise, there will be a desire. Even after coming to devotional service, we have many desires. That will be explained also by Mahaprabhu in detail. What are the desires a devotee has in the process of devotional service? But if you have desires, then you cannot be Santa. Mahaprabhu is establishing who is a devotee? Krishna Bhakta Niskam. So if we are not Niskam, then we are not Krishna Bhakta. Very, very clear. This point is very, very strongly established by Mahaprabhu. that who can be identified as devotee in the eyes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the Gauriya Vaishnava Parampara? He will be identified as Bhakta of Krishna who is desireless. So how a living entity can be desireless? Desireless means no material desire. And what are the material desires we have? Three varieties: bhukti, mukti and siddhi. We want to enjoy. We also want to be liberated. And we also want material opulences, material perfection or magic purposes, magical performance. We want to show magic. Why people like to do show magic? By showing magic, you will get popularity. And popularity is the greatest intoxication of this material world. And Mahaprabhu is condemning that intoxication very strongly. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has said, that will be explained also in this section also, that jara pratishtha sukorero vishtha. The desire to become popular is compared to the stool of a hog. And why? That is also explained. So that desire is the last desire, last snare of Maya, to think that I am God. How many followers I have, how many people I am surrounded with, how many people like me, at least in social media. Nobody may like and the reality, but if someone likes on social media, life is successful, right? Because people don't like on real life, that's why they want to be liked in social media. Virtual. Material existence is virtual, and we are going another level of virtual. That is the reality. But somehow, we have to become desireless, then we can become peaceful. Mukti, then bhukti, mukti, siddhi, kami, sakali, asanta. So in order to be peaceful, we have to give up the desire for sense enjoyment, desire for liberation, and desire for mystic perfections. So in that way, Prabhupada is also explaining in detail about different aspects of desires, and he is also recommending that unless and until we are free from the desires, material desires, we cannot experience the real taste of Krishna consciousness. So in that way, Mahaprabhu established the rare position of a devotee, Niskam Bhakta. So Mahaprabhu is not talking about Mishra Bhakta. There are Mishra Bhakta and there are Shuddha Bhaktas. Who is Mishra Bhakta? Who has desires. Who has desire for enjoyment? He is known as Karma Mishra Bhakta. A devotee who has desire for liberation, he is known as Jnana Mishra Bhakta. And who has desire for siddhis, popularity, they are known as Yoga Mishra Bhakta. But who is free from all these desires, they are known as Shuddha Bhakta. Sometimes people think, oh, we can be Mishra Bhakta or Sadhana Bhakti. No. Shuddha Bhakti, Bhakti at three levels. Sadhana Bhakti, Bhava Bhakti and Prema Bhakti. All are pure. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu does not talk about Mishra Bhakti. That misconception, he should give it up. All the three stages of Bhakti, Sadhana Bhakti, Bhava Bhakti, Prema Bhakti, all are Shuddha Bhakti. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu does not talk about Mishra Bhakti. If we get Mishra Bhakti, then we will get different result. That will also be explained by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this section. So there are two kinds of Shuddha Bhakta, who is already pure and who wants to be pure, who does not want anything, but he has desires, but he does not want that desire to be there. He is also Shuddha Bhakta. He is a sadhaka. Who can be a sadhaka in Shuddha Bhakti? Who does not desire anything else other than to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Anna vilasita sunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukullana krishna anusilanam bhaktiruttama. He is eligible candidate to do sadhana bhakti for pure devotional service. Very, very clearly our acharyas have explained. We may think, oh, as a sadhaka we can have desires. No. You can have, but you will not attain bhava bhakti. Sadhana bhakti থেকে হয় রতির উদয়, রতি গাঢ় হইলে তার প্রেম নাম কয়. That will not happen. If you do sadhana with desires, Prabhupada said you will go to heavenly planets. That is karma mishra bhakti. Karma mishra bhakti will lead to higher planetary system. Jnana mishra bhakti will lead to mukti. And yoga mishra bhakti will give you popularity. According to our desire, Krishna will also reciprocate. And that reciprocation will come very quickly because bhakti is very, very powerful. But here, bhakta, Mahaprabhu is trying to establish who is bhakta? Niskam bhakta, Suddha bhakta. He is not talking about Mishra bhaktas. Okay? So how to give that, how to get that bhakti? So now Mahaprabhu will establish the rarity of devotional service. How rare it is. Brahmanda bhamite kono bhagyavan jeev Guru Krishna prasade pai bhakti lata bij. According to their karma, all living entities are wandering throughout the entire universe. Some of them are being elevated to the upper planetary system, some are going down into the lower planetary systems. Out of many millions of wandering living entities, one who is very fortunate gets an opportunity to associate with a bona fide spiritual master by the grace of Krishna and by the mercy of both Krishna and the spiritual master. Such a person receives the seed of the creeper of devotional service. It's a very, very interesting section of the science of bhakti. Mahaprabhu is teaching to Rupa Goswami. Bhakti lata bij, the seed, is all invisible, spiritual. It's not the seed of any crop of this world. It's bhakti lata bij. What is the meaning of bhakti lata bij? From this seed, what will sprout? Bhakti lata, devotional creeper. The seed of devotional creeper. What is that? You should be very clear about that. Prabhupada writes in the purport, what is Bhakti Lata Bij? Prabhupada says, the methods, rules and regulation by which one is perfectly trained in devotional service constitute the Bhakti Lata Bij or seed of devotional service. Clear? What is Bhakti Lata Bij? You should remember, memorize this line. The methods, rules and regulation by which one is perfectly trained in devotional service constitute the Bhakti Lata Bij or seed of devotional service. Means sadhana bhakti. The process of sadhana bhakti is the seed. Clear? So Krishna gives this seed through spiritual master. It is said that by the mercy of Krishna we get Guru, and by the mercy of Guru we get Krishna. So Krishna is the Guru, original Guru, as Paramatma inside our heart. That is Paramatma. When we desire to have spiritual life, Krishna fulfills that desire. And how he reciprocates? By sending a bona fide spiritual master. If your desire is sincere, then Krishna also will reciprocate very sincerely. Because Krishna reciprocates according to our desire. So Dhruva Maharaj, he was advised by his mother to go to the forest because Dhruva Maharaj wanted to have a greater kingdom than Lord Brahma. That was his desire. And it was advised that you cannot get it by your own endeavor. Only Lord can fulfill your desire. So good point, nice point. Dhruva is an intelligent boy, he caught that point. He said, okay, the God will fulfill my desire, but where is God? Where can I find him? So Suniti said, yeah, God is available. I heard the rishis, the yogis, the saintly people, they go to the forest to find out God. So God stays in the forest. So Dhruva Maharaj took it very seriously. And immediately he packed up the luggage, I don't know what luggage he had, and he left the palace. And he went to Madhuban of Brajmandal. Right? So on the way, he met Narad Muni. Rather, Narad Muni met him. How come? Suniti sent a WhatsApp message to Narad Muni that my son is very young, 5 years old, please take care of him. That was the message given? Yes. That was a WhatsApp message. It is a transcendental WhatsApp. Paramatma. Paramatma is there in the heart of Dhruva Maharaj, and Paramatma is also there in the heart of Narad Muni. And Narad Muni got the message, and Narad Muni appeared. That's why it is said, by the desire of Krishna, we get bona fide spiritual master. It's clear? Some people think, Prabhu, how do I know who is my spiritual master? The way Dhruva Maharaj got. If you have a sincere desire, then Krishna will reciprocate. And if you have other desire, Krishna also will reciprocate. Depending on what kind of desire you have. If you have a sincere desire, you will get a bona fide spiritual master. And if your desire is not bona fide, sincere, you will get that kind of spiritual master. It will be available. And Prabhupada is writing, there are different kind of bija. Bhakti Lata bija, and there are also other kinds of bija. And that is Anna Bhilasita bija, Karma bija, Jnana bija, Yoga bija. There are different kinds of seeds available. You have to choose the right seed. Because this world is filled with a lot of seeds. And mostly the seeds are not devotional seeds. These are seed of material desires. So therefore we have to choose very carefully and which beej or which seed we want. Okay. So now we understood that by the mercy of the Guru, we get the process of devotional service, which is known as Bhakti Lata Bij, Sadhana Bhakti. Then what you have to do? You got the seed. When you get seed, what you first thing you have to do? No. Before watering, you have to plant it. You have to plant in a proper place. If you plant a seed here in the marble floor, anything will sprout? Nothing will happen. So you should have proper soil, proper ground. So this seed is planted in the heart. This seed is received where? In the heart. Then after receiving that seed, what is the duty of the gardener? Who is the gardener? The sadhaka. The practicing devotee is the gardener. And the gardener has got the seed. And he had planted that seed in the heart. Now what do you have to do after planting? Watering. Why? Once in a week or once in a month, once in 5 months, 6 months, once in a year? Huh? You have to water it regularly. And what is the meaning of regular? That can be discussed. Mali hoiya kore sei bij aropon sobon kirtan jale koro he sechan. Then that gardener regularly waters that seed. And what is the process of watering? What is that water? Sravana kirtana jal. The water of hearing and chanting. Shravan Kirtana Jal. First is Shravan, then Kirtan. As a sadhaka, we should hear more and talk less. And as a siddha, you should talk more, hear less. That is the recommendation. You decide who you are. As a sadhaka, we should hear more and talk less. That's why Srila Prabhupada prepared for years and years. And he heard from his spiritual master again and again, again and again. Those who hear properly, they can speak properly, with a proper mood. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada used to say, I used to see that Abhay was so attentive in my class. He was very attentive. And Prabhupada also explained that what is the secret of my success, but I was successful because I just repeated what I heard from my spiritual master. Because spiritual master is like a peon. He delivers the envelope of the message of love of God. He does not alter, he does not add, he does not change. He gives as it is. That's why he wrote Bhagavad Gita as it is. So you have to give the message as it is. That is the qualification. That's why it is known as transparent via media. Why it is transparent via media? Because he does not manipulate, he does not misinterpret, he does not change things. As soon as you change, you are disconnected. You become non-bona fide in the disciplic succession. It's very, very important. We have to be chaste and loyal to the Guru Parampara. We cannot change things. Prabhupada was very, very careful. He said, whatever I gave, don't change and don't spoil the whole thing. When you change, it will be spoiled. So that is the system. Shravan Kirtan Jal. We have to hear. And we have to hear from who? We have to hear from realized souls. Prabhupada used to encourage his disciples and used to say that you speak from your realizations. What is the meaning of realization? There are 3 levels of knowledge. I also spoke quite a few times here on this topic. One is acquired knowledge. Second is realized knowledge. And the third is revealed knowledge. Acquiring knowledge, you can do that by hearing, by reading, by studying. You accumulate information. And you just transfer that information. That is called acquired knowledge. You don't apply in your life. You encourage others to apply, but you don't apply. Prabhupada said that before distributing books, you should read books. Otherwise, you will become bookseller. Prabhupada never wanted booksellers. Prabhupada wanted a preacher of Krishna consciousness. You can hire booksellers, but you cannot hire a preacher of Krishna consciousness, because a preacher has realization. That's why you have to apply that knowledge in our life. When we have application, what we speak, it may not be 100%, but we have to apply. Application. Prabhupada used to say that I am not this body, I am the spirit soul. Okay, he said that. And that is the basic knowledge, and that is the knowledge you can get in ISKCON whenever you enter. In any ISKCON temple, ISKCON programs. And Prabhupada in Krishna book, in Rasa Leela section also is talking that I am not this body, I am the spirit soul. So that is the topmost aspect of spirituality, but Prabhupada is talking about that I am not this body, I am the spirit soul. Why? Because if you don't have that realization, then everything else is just waste of time. If you don't know the basic formula and apply it in your life, then what is the use of this esoteric activities of Krishna, because you have no clue of that. Because that is all transcendental activities. Those who have the transcendental realization, they can understand these activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Otherwise, it will be like a mundane stories. So that is very, very important aspect to understand. So realization is very, very important. That's why Prabhupada used to say that please speak from your realization. Then when realization becomes complete, then it becomes revealed knowledge. Revelation. Just like Brahma, he went through tapasya and Goloka Vrindavan was revealed to him and he composed Brahma Samhita. Valmiki Muni got revelation and he composed Ramayana. Vasudev got revelation and he composed Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada got revelation and he composed Bhaktivedanta purports. So you have to understand these are the examples of revealed knowledge. And that cannot happen by our scholarship. We cannot write Bhaktivedanta purports by our scholarship. By studying the Acharya's commentary, we can become scholar, but that will not be revealed knowledge. And what is the advantage of having revealed knowledge and what is the advantage of realization? Whatever you speak, that will touch the heart and that will transform people's life. So preaching means transformation. Preaching does not mean information. Anybody can give information. Even the parrot can give information. So spirituality is not about information. You can do Google search and you get all the information. All the Acharya's commentary, everything will get. Then what is the use of a sadhu? Because sadhu does not give acquired knowledge. A realized person gives realized knowledge. And what is the symptom of that? A realized person talks from his heart. And it is explained in the heart of a pure devotee, Krishna resides. Krishna doesn't only reside, he takes rest. Govinda Vishram. Krishna is there in everyone's heart. Right? Paramatma. As a Paramatma, Krishna is there in everyone's heart. But Paramatma is very active. He does two services. Anumanta and Upadrashta. Anumanta means he sanctions. Whatever desire we have, he sanctions. Sanctioning authority. Signing the check. So, this check of desire, sanctioned. Then, Upadrashta is also the witness. He witnesses all the activities, not only activities, also our desires. Everything he witnesses. So, he is very, very active. The heart of a conditioned soul is like the office of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because Lord is busy as Paramatma. But for a pure devotee, that office transforms into home, bedroom, Vishram. Just like Goloka Vrindavan is the home of Krishna and Vaikuntha is the office. Right? So, when a pure devotee speaks, a realized soul speaks, he speaks from his heart. And that sound vibration, Srimad Bhagavatam explains, that sound vibration is very, very potent. Birjavati Harikatha. Birjavati means very potent. What is the meaning of potent? Potent means who can give birth. Potent. Birjavati Harikatha. So that transcendental sound vibration, because it comes from the heart of a realized soul, it carries the aroma of the dust of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that transcendental sound vibration, when it enters into the ear and goes to the heart of a sincere listener, then Krishna is transferred from the heart of that speaker to the heart of that listener. And Prabhupada explains that is the real meaning of Diksha. What is the meaning of Diksha? Diksha means transfer of Krishna from the heart of the Guru to the heart of the disciple. It's not a ceremony only. Ceremony is the external part. The real meaning of Diksha is when Krishna is received in the heart of a disciple, That is the real meaning of Diksha. And Prabhupada explains that also in 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, where Krishna was transferred from the heart of Vasudeva to the heart of Devaki. So that is the process. So hearing and chanting is very, very important, and that should continue. How long? That will be explained also. So now 9 o'clock. So should stop, no? Another 5-10 minutes. উপজিয়া বারে লতা ব্রহ্মাণ্ড ভেদি যায় বিরজা ব্রহ্মলোক ভেদি পরব্রহ্ম পায়. So this creeper is moving. Okay, it's a very long creeper. So first he crossed the 8 layers of the material universe. Then there is a Viraja river. Then he crosses that. Then enters into Brahmalok, Brahmajati. Then he goes to Vaikuntha Loka. Then what happens? His journey continues. তবে যায় তদুপরি গোলক বৃন্দাবন কৃষ্ণ চরণ কল্প ভিক্ষে করে আরোহণ. Then that devotional creeper, he does not need any support because he is a spiritual creeper. Generally, lata, creeper needs the support of a tree, right? Otherwise, it cannot go up. So this is not a mundane creeper, spiritual creeper without any help. It's moving, not only in this universe, not only in this material cosmos. He enters into Vaikuntha planet and he goes to Goloka Vrindavan, the topmost planet of the spiritual world. And he takes shelter where Krishna Charana Kalpa Vrikshe Kore Arohan. So that desire tree is the desire tree of the lotus feet of Krishna. So Krishna's lotus feet is compared to the Kalpa Vriksha. Krishna Charan Kalpa Vrikshe Kore Arohan. That lotus feet of Krishna is the desire tree. So what is the meaning? What is the message? If we have that desire tree in the form of the lotus feet of Krishna, all our desires will be fulfilled. That's why devotees are very intelligent. Krishna je bhaje se baro chatur, very intelligent. So devotee said, my dear Lord, you don't want anything. Mahaprabhu also taught us, nadanang, najanang, na sundaring, kabitang vajagadisha kamaye, mama janmani jarmanishare, bhavatad bhaktir, ahitukitoy. I don't want anything of this world. I just want causeless devotional service, life after life. I don't want liberation also. Right? Then the Lord is worshipped by who? Chintamani prakarasadma sukalpa vriksha laksha viteshu surabhir abhipalayantam lakshmi sahasra satasambhrama sevyamanam govindam adi purusham tamahang bhajami. So the lotus feet of Krishna, Govinda, is worshipped by who? The gopis, the Lakshmis. How many? Unlimited. Satasahasra, millions of gopis are in the line to worship the lotus feet of Krishna. And what is the quality of Lakshmi? Opulence. So you think if you have the lotus feet of Krishna, you will be poor. So who has the lotus feet of Krishna, then he will be extremely opulent. And Prabhupada explains that if we serve Krishna, generally Lakshmi is chanchala, is very restless. If there is no Narayan, then Lakshmi does not stay long. But if there is Narayan, then Lakshmi is eternally there. So that is the intelligence of a devotee. They just want the lotus feet of Krishna. Here also, the devotional creeper takes shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan. So here, our devotional creeper goes to the lotus feet of Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan and takes shelter. Okay? So seed is where? In the heart. So creeper is where? in the lotus feet of Krishna in Goloka Vrindavan. So, okay, clear? The picture is clear, what's going on? Okay. Then what is the result of Kripa? তাহা বিস্তারিত হইয়া ফলে প্রেম ফল ইহা মালি সেচে নিত্য শ্রবণাদি জল. The creeper now produces fruit because that is the quality of a tree, no? It gives fruit. What is the fruit? Prema phal. The fruit of love of Godhead. So from that creeper, now creeper is taking the shelter of Krishna's lotus feet, okay? And from that lotus feet, what is coming out? Prema phal. The transcendental fruit of love of Godhead. And what the gardener is doing? Very interesting. Iha mali seche nitto shravanadi jal. You should not think that I have attained siddhi, there is no shravan kirtan needed. Shravan kirtan jal, that gardening, that watering should go on. Okay? Iha mali seche nitto shravanadi jal. Nitto means eternally. You have to chant and hear. So I want to stop here because after that there is a concept how this creeper will be destroyed. This is the positive side, now negative side coming. So that will be discussed. Negative aspect will be discussed tomorrow. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Sriman Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Any question or comment? You are not forced to stay back, but if you want, you can maybe 5 minutes question answer. If you have any, otherwise we can.
Hare Krishna. So thank you very much, Prabhuji, such a wonderful explanation. So I have 2-3 questions. So whatever you allow. So like first thing I want to know, like you are telling like how Prabhupada told that we should speak from our realization. So like in sadhaka stage we don't have much realization. So already you told in sadhaka stage you should hear more and give to listen.
Yeah, you got the point.
So like I just want to clarify this thing. You are telling like acquired knowledge. So sometimes we are preaching. So we don't have much realization. So then we speak whatever we heard in lectures, whatever we read in Shastras, Bhagavad Gitas, and then we want to try to quote all these things and want to tell. So is this acquired knowledge or like, so what we do?
If you don't have realization, if you don't have faith in that, that is acquired knowledge. And if you have faith, then that is realized knowledge. Depending on your faith. You understand? Prabhupada said that during the last days, are you convinced Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead? We know Krishna is the Supreme Personality, but how much conviction we have? We know we are the spirit soul, how much conviction we have? We know the love of Godhead is the goal of our life, how much conviction we have? Depending on that, our speech will have impact in people's life. Whether we are a mental platform, then we can impress up to mind. If you are an intellectual platform, we can impress them intellectually. But if you have realization, then you can change their heart and they will become devotees. You understand?
Yeah, yes.
There will be impact. Whatever you preach will have impact. But depending on your level, there will be impact in people's life. But Prabhupada said, we should preach whatever we know. If you know Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, preach that only. You should know what's your capacity and preach according to that capacity. And if you go beyond our capacity because of enthusiasm, apani achari dharma jivere sikhai. First we have to practice it. Janma sarthak kori karo parupakar. But we are so fascinated by parupakar, but we forget the before. Janma sarthak. First, our life has to be successful. You can give what you have. If you have 100 rupees, you can give 100 rupees. If you don't have, how you can give? But we have so much enthusiasm. Even if you don't have, we want to give. But check will be bounced, no? So that's why you should know. One devotee told Prabhupada, I have an idea. I always give the example of a preacher. The idea is that getting people in the Western world is very difficult. He said, Saturday night club is a good place. You can have a lot of book distribution, a lot of people without invitation. You can do a great job. And he asked Prabhupada, what do you think about this idea? Prabhupada said, idea is very good, but make sure you come back. So enthusiasm has to be balanced with your capacity. And who can check that? Your authorities, your guru. He knows. The success of a person depends on to know what you can do, and more important than that, you should know what you cannot do. But because we have a tendency to enter into the area where we cannot do and we want to do, then accident will take place. Okay?
Yeah, yes, Puji. So I got the point, like you are saying that knowledge is the same, but how much we have realization, that much the next person will be convinced according to that. Thank you. So one more question you are telling in the meanwhile.
Yeah, one more. Then there are other hands also. Okay? You can get it one more time.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Guruji. So you were mentioning that sadhana bhakti does not start till the person has still desires.
No, sadhana bhakti for Shuddha bhakti.
Achha.
Sadhana for every aspect. You want to become a good student, that is also sadhana. I am talking about sadhana to get love of Godhead. সাধনা ভক্তি থেকে হয় রতি হৃদয়, রতি গাঢ় হইলে তার প্রেম নাম কয়। Our goal of life is to attain love of Godhead. For that we have to have sadhana. So that sadhana should be sadhana of Shuddha Bhakti, not bhakti with desires. If you do sadhana with desires, that will not give love of Godhead.
So then, Prabhuji, the question was that, then you were giving example of Dhruva Maharaj. That Dhruva Maharaj, he had the desire to get the kingdom.
Yeah.
And then he got a bona fide guru, and guru gave him process, sadhana or something.
Yeah. He was lucky.
So then he got it.
Yeah, he got it. But he got Dhruvaloka also, no? You understand? So you should be carefully desire.
So at our level, Prabhuji,
Yeah.
even if I know okay, these things are bad, it's not the best thing, still the heart is attached to that only. So then I have to continue or perform sadhana bhakti.
Yeah, that's why you have to take shelter of Mahaprabhu. There's a hope giving verse. What Mahaprabhu is telling, Krishna is telling, Je jathamam prabodhante tang sataiva bhajamaham. As you surrender, I will reward you. If you want heavenly planet, I will give you heavenly planet. If you have a nice palace, you will get nice palace. You want Dhruvaloka, you will get Dhruvaloka. That is Krishna. But what is Mahaprabhu? Mahaprabhu is telling, Ama bhaje, Bengali verse. Ama bhaje Vishwai mange, se to boro murkho. Mahaprabhu is telling that he is worshipping me, means he is worshipping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Ama bhaje. And what is asking? Material benediction. Vishwai mange. And what is the status? Se to boro murkho. He is a number one fool. Kintu ami to bigyo. Mahaprabhu is telling, I am not fool. I am a wise man. Tare Vishwai kena dibo? Why should I give you material wealth? Sa charanamrita diya Vishwai bhulaibo. By my causeless mercy, I will make you forget about all the material desires. So whether you have desires, no desire, take shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you will become pure devotee of the Lord. Okay? That is the special mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this age of Kali. That's why it's Namo Mahabadannaya Avatar. That Bhagavad Gita slok does not apply. All the rules and regulations, systems given by Krishna, everything has been broken by the causeless mercy of Sriman Mahaprabhu. Okay?
Yeah,
You are not happy with the answer?
No, very happy, Prabhuji.
You are happy to say Hari Bol?
Hari Bol.
Okay.
So, Prabhuji, for a devotee, for myself, at what point, because many times the other devotees also ask this question, we also have this question, at what point I can understand I am not pursuing the desires which I have, the other desires, although I have them. And at what point, what quality of heart actually I am pursuing those desires. How to identify, because then that decides that, how much sadhana. Because many devotees go through this difficulty.
Repeat, I could not get your point properly.
Prabhuji, there is like two things. One is that you have desires,
Yeah.
but you are not pursuing them. you are staunchly following the process given, although you have the desires. Another is that you have the desires, and knowingly, unknowingly, you are fulfilling those desires or moving in the direction of fulfilling those desires.
Yeah. If you fulfilling those desires, then you are karma mishra bhakta. But if you have the desire but not pursuing it, then you are a Shuddha Bhakta. May not be Shuddha Bhakta in the real sense of the term. You are a sadhaka, but you are a sadhaka of Shuddha Bhakti, because you are not enjoying. Although you have the enjoyment spirit within, you have to come out from that.
So, Guruji, where the challenge comes is for myself that
Not for you, everybody. Yeah.
how much sadhana of swadhyaya, shravanam, kirtanam I should do to be sure that I am not pursuing those desires. Although I have the desires, but I am.
Yeah, that's why Mahaprabhu has given a very simple process. Kirtaniya Sadahari. Very simple but very difficult. Okay, Kirtaniya Sadahari. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Nityam doesn't mean once in a week, once in a day, like that. Right? We chant every day, na? What is this verse? Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Nashta Prayeshu Avadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. All our desires, mostly, almost, will go away when we are engaged in Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. And what is Bhagavata Sevaya also has different kinds of explanation. But we have to be engaged in devotional service always. Then we can be free from our unwanted desires.
Thank you, Guruji. So then in the initial years, or like till the time, so then if devotee, he is constantly engaged, but some devotee is largely engaged in physical manual services, and some devotee is more engaged in swadhyaya, shravanam, kirtanam.
Okay.
So both are acceptable.
You have to understand that what level you are. Prabhupada is telling, I did not go to the purport, Savan Kirtan. Prabhupada is telling you should not imitate Haridas Thakur. And some, Prabhupada is talking very strongly, some people condemn that we should not do deity worship in the temple and should always chant the holy name. They will definitely fall down because they are not Haridas Thakur. So what is the message he is giving? There should be a balance in sadhaka's life. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, 8 hours for sadhana, means 8 hours for soul, 8 hours for the body, and 8 hours for the service. There should be a balance. If you do too much sadhana, you will become lazy. And if you do too much seva, you will become crazy. And Prabhupada said, ISKCON is not meant for lazy and crazy people. There should be a balance. Some people say, Prabhu, I am in japa. Prabhupada says, what japa? What japa? Let them work for Krishna. So Prabhupada made a balance. Someone, I don't want to say, someone was chanting 32 rounds. Don't imitate. And after breakfast, Prabhupada's time, idea is that everybody should be out of the temple. Nobody should be seen. Everybody should be on the street. Prabhupada's movement is movement on the street. Food distribution on the street, book distribution on the street, and what else? Harinam distribution on the street. This is Sankirtan movement. Movement. You should move. You should not become lazy in the classroom. Okay? It's a movement. We move. But in the name of studying Bhagavatam, in the name of chanting, you become lazy people. We are Goshtanandis. Mahaprabhu did that. Prabhupada used to get up in the morning, not morning, midnight, he used to do his sadhana, he used to do his sadhya, writing, everything, then hold a seva. So somebody told Prabhupada, as a sannyasi, I should only study. Prabhupada said, follow me. In the morning, I give Bhagavatam class, in the afternoon, I count money in the bank. So sannyasi means who is ready to do service for Krishna. That is sannyasi's life. If you are attached to something, then you are not a sannyasi. If you are attached to something, then you should be detached from that. I had an example that two senior disciples of Prabhupada, I can mention the name also. One was Tamal Krishna Maharaj, one is Sasaru Maharaj. Tamal Krishna Maharaj was more into management and Satsvarup Maharaj was more into study. And when Prabhupada gave sannyas, he told Satsvarup Maharaj to manage and told Tamal Krishna Maharaj to resign from management. You understand? You should not be conditioned. Pure devotional service is unconditional. I like it. Then you are not a sannyasi. You are attached. Whatever is needed for the pleasure of the Lord, that should be done. That is the level of Siddha Bhakti and higher platform. But as a sadhaka, there should be a balance. Sadhaya, sadhana, seva. Three things. As a brahmachari, as a sadhaka, we should have this balance. And if you do it in a balanced way, then we can be steady in our devotional service. Okay? So we'll end. You want to get your turn? Last, or I answered your question? Okay, last question.
I just want to clarify that Dhruv Maharaj then, he had that desire to achieve the loka and then he practiced the sadhana bhakti. So he was pursuing for that or?
No, when he saw Krishna, then his desires were gone. He said, I don't want anything, but he already desired. So he got Dhruva-loka, what to do?
So that is happened when he saw Krishna. But his pursuance of sadhana bhakti, he was pursuing for material desire?
Yes.
So then it's not Karma Mishra sadhana bhakti?
Yeah, Karma Mishra, very clear. Dhruva Maharaj was pursuing Karma Mishra Bhakti. He didn't want Krishna, love of Godhead. He wanted what? He wanted a kingdom greater than Lord Brahma. That was his desire. Okay?
So then how he achieved pure devotional service?
By the mercy of pure devotee, Narad Muni. That's why akamo sarva kamo va mokshakam udara ditibrana bhakti jogana jajatang purusam param. That is the potency of a pure devotee. He can purify any desires and give pure love of God.
So then Puji, how we can reconcile this? Then you're mentioning that sadhana bhakti done with material desires will not achieve to pure devotional service.
Yeah.
How we can reconcile this, Puji?
Because he started the sadhana bhakti with the desire, but by the mercy of Krishna, he purified the desire, then he started Siddha Bhakti, then he attained perfection as love of God. Okay? It's not a box. Devotional service is not box, but our mind is mathematically box. It's very versatile. Okay? So we'll stop here. Granthara Srimad Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sriman Mahaprabhu ki jai, Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bo.